Good morning, students. Our subject is engineering geology. We are in fifth unit. Present, our topic is geology consideration for successful constructions of reservoirs and life of reservoirs. Guys, just in this topic, the main intention is when we are going to field work and going to big constructions such as like the reservoirs, we need to very much care about the geological considerations for successful constructions of reservoirs. And when we are following these instructions clearly, the life of reservoirs automatically increases. So this topic is going to all of you. It's going to help to a big help to all of you to enhancing your imaginations and knowledge about the constructions of the reservoir and the life of reservoirs. So guys, here, so what is a reservoir? Yeah, so we should know about the definition. A reservoir usually means an enlarged natural or artificial lake. What he says, a reservoir usually means an enlarged a reservoir usually a reservoir usually means an enlarged natural or artificial lake, storage pond, or impoundment created using a dam to store water. Reservoirs can be created by controlling a stream that drains an existing body of water. They can also be they also be constructed in a river valleys using a dam. So guys, from this figure, we can observe something. This is the emergency spillway. This is the cost of spillway. This is the flood control volume. Here, reservoir discharge water level. Here, uh, reserve minimum water level for electricity generation. Here, the dead water storage capacity for sedimentation, current sediment surface. Here also, a river discharge meters cube per second is the below dam. This is minimum discharge or cable of producing undesired flooding down terrain. Here peak is unregulated river. Here this is river regulated by multi-purpose reservoir. This is the dry season, rainy season, and dry season. Purpose of reservoir. As what is the main purpose of reservoir? Reservoirs may be managed to balance some or all of the following activities: water supply, flood control, soil erosion, environmental management, hydroelectric power generation, navigation, and irrigation. The considerations for successful reservoir means, from the geological point of view, a reservoir can be claimed to be successful if it is watertight. That is, if it does not suffer from any serious leakage of water, and if it has a long life due to a very slow rate of silting in the reservoir basin. The reservoir, when filled, gives chances for reactivation of underlying inactive faults. This in turn gives scope for the occurrence of seismicity and landslides in that region. The Success of reservoir depend on following factors: capacity of reservoir, effect of evaporation, water tightness and influencing factor, um, buried river channels, influence of rock types, influence of geological structures, influence of water table. So, capacity of the reservoir means reservoir capacity depends on the capacity of the reservoir. Reservoir capacity depends on the existing topography and the proposed top water level TWL of the reservoir. The effective of evaporation means the natural process of evaporation reduces the quantity. The effect of evaporation, the natural process of evaporation reduces the quantity of water in the reservoir through unwanted. This process is unavoidable since reservoirs are open and extended over larger areas. The magnitude of evaporation will be extensive, of course. Such loss shall be less if the topography is such that a reservoir covers a small area but has a great depth to provide adequate capacity. Water tightness and influencing factors. When a river flows over such lost soil or fractured ground, it is natural that some water of the river percolates or leaks underground. Before the construction of the dam, this leakage shall be less and limited only to the extent over which the river flow occurs. But when the dam is constructed, the impounding water accumulates in large quantity in a reservoir which covers a very large area. This means percolation occurs over a large area due to height of the water reservoir. Significant hydrostatic forces develop which will make the linkage more effective on the sides and the floor of the reservoir. Thus, the extent of linkage may become alarmingly great. Buried river channels. These are frequent in glaciated regions and are serious source of leakage. This is because they are filled with loose and coarse sediments and these allow heavy leakage. Due to presence of buried channel at Topoban Dam site of river Doli Ganga in Uttar Pradesh, there is a severe leakage of reservoir water. But influence of rock types. Influence of rock types. Water tightness of a reservoir basin is also very much influenced by the kind of rocks that occurs at the reservoir site. If the rock are porous and permeable, they will cause the leakage of water and hence such rock are undesirable at the reservoir site. Igneous rocks. Intrusive igneous rocks like granite, by virtue of their composition, texture, and mode of formation, are neither porous nor permeable. Hence, their occurrence at the reservoir site will not cause leakage of water unless they have other defects like joints, faults, or shear zones. But the extensive, that is volcanic igneous rocks like a basalt are not desirable because they are often vesicular sedimentary rocks. By virtue of their wide areal extent and frequency of occurrence, Sedimentary rocks are the more important in this regard than igneous rocks. Among the different sedimentary rocks, shales are the most abundant, followed by sandstone and limestone. Shales, the extremely fine-grained sedimentary rocks, are highly porous but not permeable. For this reason, the occurrence of shales at the reservoir site shall not cause any leakage. Of course, at the dam site, its occurrence is considered undesirable because of its incompetency and slippery character. The sandstone is an aquifer and hence it has a tendency to cause leakage. However, careful examination is needed to know whether it causes severe leakage or not. If present at the reservoir site, this is so because the porosity and permeability of different sandstones differ depending on a degree of cementation and composition of the cementing materials of sandstones. The occurrence of limestone at the reservoir site is, in general, undesirable. Of course, it may not only have negligible porosity but also possess a reasonable hardness and durability. Thus, through the compact of massive limestone superficially seem to be waterproof, they may be internally cavernous and cause proposed leakage. Metamorphic rocks. Gneiss, which is one of the most common metamorphic rocks, behave like granite. They are neither porous nor permeable. The cysts, on the other hand, by virtue of their excellent foliation and soft and cleavage bearing mineral content, and a source of weakness and leakage problems. The quartzite, which are compact by virtue of their quartz content and granular structure, are neither porous nor permeable. Therefore, their occurrence at reservoir sites contribute to water tightness. Marbles, through compact by virtue of their calcium carbonate composition and calcite content, are not reliable in terms of their water tightness. Slates, due to their characteristics, slaty cleavage, may tend to cause leakage, but their very fine-grained nature helps in checking such leakage considerably. And influence of geological structures. The presence of geological structures has a significant influence in decreasing and increasing the leakage through rocks at reservoir. Case 1 shows possibility of occurrence of leakage of reservoir water into adjacent valley lying at a lower level. The leakage occurs because the tilted permeable bed is exposed in adjacent valley. Case 2 shows how folding can prevent leakage. Case 3 shows how faulting also can prevent leakage. In this case, along the fault plane, the permeable bed through which reservoir water percolates get terminated against an impermeable bed which prevents leakage. Influence of geological structures. Sir. Ada di atraction. Influence of geological structures. This is the figure leakage prevented by faulting. Guys, here, this is the impervious strata. This is the reservoir TWL, water bearing strata, case 1, leakage caused by tilted beds. Here, case 2, leakage prevented by faulting. This is the water table. This is the reservoir. This is the TBL. Leakage prevented by folding. Leakage prevented by folding. Fault reservoir TWL. Case 3. Leakage prevented by faulting. Fault reservoir TWL. వాడే పోతున్నారు మీరు ఏం చేస్తాం వాడికి అలవాటు ఆడే పోతాను వచ్చి అది తీసిద్దే క్లాస్ లో వరవుతానంటే linkage prevented by faulting. Influence of water table. Water table, depending on its position with respect to the river level, either allows the groundwater to seep into the river or vice versa. If the water table occurs at a very high level and intersects the valley sides of the river, then seepage of groundwater occurs and gets added to river. Such rivers are called effluent water. If water table occurs at greater depth, the river water percolates into rock and reaches groundwater. Such rivers are called influent waters. If river is effluent in nature at a reservoir site, no leakage shall occur because the ground is already saturated by groundwater. If the river is of influent nature at a reservoir site, leakage will occur. Any precautions to prevent leakage will not be satisfactory, and downward percolation is water becomes inevitable under the influence of gravity. Hence, only such sites where the rivers are effluent should be preferred for location of reservoir. Life of reservoir. The process of silting correspondingly reduces the capacity of the reservoir to store water. The total volume of silt likely to be deposited in design life of dam is estimated, and that much volume should be left unused to allow the silting and is known as dead storage. The period up to which the reservoir serves its purpose is life of reservoir. Life of reservoir increases if the silting is very low. Measures to control silting areas as follows: check dams and settling basins, vegetation, diversion of sediment loaded water. And here guys, so guys, here of life of reservoirs. Geophysical investigations are made for the study of relatively shallow subsurface inhomogeneous structures. Here guys, I will explain clearly just what geophysical studies useful in the reservoir studies. Here, the subheadings is the necessity of geophysical investigations. The to ensure safely success and economy in construction of major civil engineering structures, it is necessary to be thoroughly aware of the geology of the site and importance of geophysical investigations. These can be carried out quickly, that is, large areas can be investigated in a reasonably short period. The instruments are simple, portable, and can be operated easily. It is economical. Different inference to shoot different purpose can be drawn from the area field data, thus from geophysical investigations, information on subsurface rock, geological structures, groundwater profile, depth of bedrock etc. can be applied. So here also the classification of geophysical methods: gravimetric method, magnetic method, electrical method, seismic method, radiometric method, and geothermal methods. These all methods are using identification of the selection of the dam sites and reservoir sites also we can select. Anyway, thank you guys. In next class, I will teach you next topic.